Hello, Seiiti Arata. Your phone is distorting your reality. You know when your favorite Instagram filter gets removed, then you feel kind of embarrassed to be publishing your new photos. Well, this is more serious than it seems because you're training your brain to basically reject who you are. Think about it. Every time you're using a filter, you're like getting used to some idealized version of yourself, a person that doesn't even exist in the real world. And the bigger problem is that over time you start to believe that this edited version is the real one. Now, meanwhile, take a look at the person you see in the mirror. You don't even recognize that person anymore. I know it sounds kind of extreme, but there is a name for this. This is body dysmorphia. It is a type of distortion that affects how you see yourself. And this is becoming more common nowadays because of social media. This happens because our brains, they are flexible, they're moldable. They learn through repetition. The more you look at photos with filters, the more you reinforce in your brain that this is the acceptable version of you. And this is something that neuroscience calls neuroplasticity, our ability to change how we think. And in this case, your neuroplasticity is working against you. Every time you take a photo with a filter, it feels like that's the real you, and without the filter, or with bad light or something like that, that's not real you. You changed your real self, not because of the filters. You created this massive gap between who you really are and who you think you should be. And this gap between your real self and your ideal self is one of the main causes of low self-esteem because of anxieties coming in your life. Psychology is explaining all of this with the concept of self-discrepancy. You know what makes it worse? Platforms like Instagram creating this vicious reward cycle. When you use a filter, it gets a lot of likes and compliments. Oh, you're looking so great here. Your brain releases dopamine, the chemical that makes you basically feel good. But when you don't use filters and when you don't get the same level of attention, or people even criticize you, it feels like something is wrong with you, even though there's nothing wrong with you. That's the real you. And you need more and more filters to get that feel good sensation. And it doesn't stop here. There is a term that doctors are using in some older papers, like they say this is Snapchat dysmorphia. It's the name for this phenomenon where people are becoming so used to seeing themselves with filters, they want actually to change. They want plastic surgery to look like their photos. If you're thinking about surgery, this psychological impact is real. Becoming obsessed with this edited version of yourself can leave you increasingly dissatisfied with your appearance. It can fuel a cycle of comparison with other people who are also using filters, creating a completely fake reality. There's nothing wrong with doing that as long as you understand what you're doing. What is most surprising is connecting with your true self, and that can change all of that. When you are exposing yourself to your unfiltered image without judgment, your brain relearns. And this is called positive neuroplasticity. The more you see yourself as you really are, the more comfortable you're going to be feeling. This reduces that anxiety that you get every time you take a natural photo or you appear in some unedited video. You're accepting your real self. And this is one of the most important steps to improve your self-esteem and reduce your discomfort in those situations. Okay, if you want to change this, there are a few things you can do, things that will actually help you. You can try taking a few unfiltered photos of yourself every day, just for a few minutes. In the beginning, you're not gonna like it, but this is part of this process of reconnecting to who you really are, your real image. You limit your use of your filters, you avoid posting those edited photos for a week. And this will help you to break the dependency cycle that you created. Another idea is to write down how you feel when you see yourself without filters. You have to challenge those negative thoughts. For example, if you think, oh no, that photo is awful. Okay, you can ask yourself, why? Why is it awful? Is it just because it's different from what you're used to? If you feel like this is affecting your life too much, Perhaps talking to a therapist could be a good idea. There are techniques like cognitive behavioral therapy, which can be pretty effective in working in your self-esteem issues, changing those distorted beliefs. So in the end, the idea is pretty simple. The more you like an edited photo, the more it becomes you believe that this is who you really are, and you can perfectly have a great life, a happy life, without an ad filter manipulating that image so you feel happy. Now, the topic is happiness. I invite you to take a look at our link, arata.se/happiness, and I'll see you there.